Our family roots in Southwest Florida span over 4 decades. And what drew us here in the first place is what keeps us here today: wild nature. We live on a tributary of the Myakka River, an ancient waterway adjoining Charlotte Harbor, the Peace River, and Gulf of Mexico.
To better understand the vital role that water plays in the region's ecology and economy, we turn to our friend Betty Staugler, an agent with the Florida Sea Grant Marine Extension Program in Charlotte County.
We're currently standing at Ponce de Leon Park, overlooking Charlotte Harbor. We're really right at the mouth of the Peace River where it joins with Charlotte Harbor. One of the unique things about Charlotte Harbor is it's really multiple estuaries in one. And so we have the Peace River Estuary, the Upper Charlotte Harbor Estuary, the Myakka River Estuary. As we move west, we have the Gasparilla Estuary and Lemon Bay Estuary, and each of these have unique characteristics and salinities and different fish species and seagrasses and other coastal habitats. Here in the Upper Harbor, we have much darker water. It's generally referred to as brown, and that's because of the natural tannins that any plant matter produces. As leaves and grass clippings fall into the water, those tannins get released into the water and stain it brown. It's not dirty, it's just tea-colored. If you were to pick up a cup of water and look through it, you would notice that you can see through it quite well. As you move south, down through Charlotte Harbor and then west out towards the Gulf, you're going to get much higher Gulf influence, much higher salinities, much bluer water. Other important features are the mangroves that you see in the background. These mangroves provide canopy for our nesting birds. They also have roots that extend into the water and provide a lot of refuge for our important fish species and crustaceans such as blue crab, which is really important to our commercial fishery here in Charlotte Harbor. Charlotte County's economy is largely driven by our aquatic resources. People come here for world-class fishing, sailing, paddleboarding, kayaking, bird watching, and all of these activities require healthy water quality, healthy habitats, and a healthy fishery. In order to ensure the health of our aquatic environment, there are a number of water monitoring programs. Some of those are designed to make sure our beaches are healthy, so they're very specific to that resource. Others are designed to really just give us a long-term picture of what the water quality in Charlotte Harbor looks like. As part of maintaining good water quality, we also like to keep an eye on what's happening with our habitats and also our fish and wildlife. Nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus are important to a healthy estuary unless we see them in excess. Activities such as fertilizing your yard or walking your dog and not picking up after it, things like some agricultural activities and failing septic systems. When these nutrients enter in excess, it can lead to algae blooms. And so that's, one of the challenges that most estuary systems, not only Charlotte Harbor, but worldwide, are experiencing. Another coastal challenge that we face is just in general pollution, things like plastic in the environment that can get out into the water that just doesn't break down, and it'll get into smaller and smaller pieces, but it never actually leaves the system. Again, not unique to Charlotte County or Charlotte Harbor, but certainly something that we need to keep an eye on. Along the Southwest Florida coast, we periodically experience red tide blooms. Red tide is a naturally occurring type of algae called a dinoflagellate. There's many dinoflagellates worldwide. This particular one that causes our red tide is toxic. Red tide forms offshore about 10 to 40 miles in nutrient-poor waters, and what causes it to bloom, scientists still aren't quite sure. But once it does bloom, the winds and currents bring it to our coastal, our nearshore waters. And at that point, it interacts with the nutrients that we provide to the estuaries. And if we provide nutrients in excess, it can cause that bloom to intensify and to stick around much longer than we'd like to see it here. One of the unique things about Charlotte Harbor is that almost 80% of the shoreline is in permanent preservation as part of the Charlotte Harbor Preserve State Park. This land was purchased by the state of Florida as a buffer between what's happening on the land and the aquatic resources below it. These buffer preserves allow water to slowly make their way to Charlotte Harbor, and in the process, nutrients and other pollutants can be filtered out before it reaches the open waters. They also, for us as users of the resource, they provide us with this beautiful mangrove system to look at and to enjoy, so we don't see these high rises and lots of homes and stuff when we're out on the water. We see this wonderful natural and wild environment. And it's one of the things that really makes us special, I think, in the state of Florida.
To view full episodes, visit adventureandwildlife.com.